Hello Transformers fans, my name is David Lees, and in this video we'll be looking at Transformers A Bold New Era issue 25, or as it's been retitled, Transformers War World. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos and I apologise for the delays, it's been rather busy times. But we'll look at issue 25 today, which is double length. The comic itself runs considerably more pages, about twice as many pages as usual, and there's a lot of material that gets covered, so we'll fly through it as usual. In the previous issue we saw Megatron take over the government building, goes into the Senate building, takes over, holds everyone hostage, puts all the senators in holding cells and all the senator guards as well. So all the people that would normally be around, all the sort of the politicians and so on, are all in holding cells as Megatron prepares to take over as leader of the Decepticons, for you have been deceived and we are the Decepticons. At the same time, Wheeljack was sent out to look at the moon's tether. You remember the moon had flown away, the tether that held it in place had snapped and come crashing down on Cybertron. So Wheeljack went to look at it. As we see him here, returning to Cybertron in his spacecraft or shuttlecraft, lands most unsuccessfully, bounces off about 3 different buildings before crashing straight into the ground. So not the best landing ever, but any landing you can walk away from is probably a good one. But here we are. So successfully lands, or crash lands, where he's picked up by Runabout and Runamok. Not seen them before, nice to see them included in the comic from the original G1 toys. This is business, says Runabout. Wheeljack, listen, I need help, the moon. The only thing you need to worry about is worry about whoever you are. Are you with the Decepticons or against them? What's a Decepticon? This is not going to end well for Wheeljack. So Wheeljack gets taken down by Runabout and Runamok, but saved by Streetwise and Slapdash, who come in. Streetwise was security and law enforcement, backed up by Slapdash, and they've managed to rescue Wheeljack. Meanwhile, in the holding cells below the Senate building, Subsea and Roulette and the rest of the guards, who are on duty have been put in their own holding cells, and Megatron comes to talk to Sentinel Prime. Sentinel Prime, ruler of the Autobots, ruler of Cybertron, and Megatron decides it's time for the talk. And Sentinel Prime is quite indignant, quite unimpressed at Megatron's overtures, and says, I have nothing to say to you, Megatron, save that you have lost your mind if you think this ends well. It does not end well. That's some foreshadowing for you. But the two of them have a conversation, and it comes down to the fact that Megatron sees it as a small sacrifice. Orion, Sentinel Prime sees it as a small sacrifice to be restrained. Restraint can be the purest form of strength and a small cost to bear for the sake of peace or of the future. So in other words, restrain yourself, stop causing trouble, stop developing this uprising. You can call it a small sacrifice as Megatron, but Megatron sees a much smaller picture, his own rule, his own ambition, and therefore it's a much bigger sacrifice on that scale. I always wondered what you thought that artifact in your chest, your precious matrix. You Autobots pretend there is some destiny in the way it passes from one of you to the next, rising up one prime after another. But if I crack open your chest and rip it out, is it mine? So, more foreshadowing going on. If I gave it a new home, and here, would it make me the one true prime? Would the Autobots even kneel before me? Well, we shall see. Megatron goes off, he has other things to do, leaves Ravage and Laserbeak in charge of the prisoners. Orion Pax has a quick conversation with him. Orion Pax trying to reason with Megatron. Megatron points out that it was Orion's idea to send Bumblebee to infiltrate the Decepticons, and that didn't work. Bumblebee is locked up with those other common criminals, and well, you do not matter anymore, Orion Pax. You'll be pleased to know, of course, that the Autobots themselves are preparing to rescue and retrieve the Autobots and the Senators. So we look at Ironhide and Hound in particular, who are going to lead a rescue mission. I am going in there, I am going to rescue the first Senator and Orion Pax and the rest. That's typical Ironhide. We've got no choice, Hound. Megatron just overthrew the government. And Bot's already dead. Brainstorm, Rubble, and all the others way, way back. The death count, or the body count, is increasing quite considerably now. And we have to call every senator and Iacons either part of this or a prisoner. And Starscream is suspiciously hard to find. Well, that's Starscream. But as Ironhide points out, we've got to stand up if we want to have a choice about who will be afterwards. They retrieve Wheeljack and they start making plans to rescue the senators. Megatron, meanwhile, goes in full propaganda mode. This broadcast that goes out across the planet. Cybertronians, you'll be free to realise your potential. Cybertron will be free to become all it can be, and so on. Do not obstruct our efforts to restore the order upon which a better future can be built. It's all about making tough, long-term decisions for a brighter future, or a better future. Megatron's gone political. Meanwhile, they are starting to gather together all the Autobots who are available, and we have Top Shot, Flak, Sidetrack, Sunrunner, who sounds a lot like Powerglide, very self-absorbed, and others as well. So some discussion with Prowl, which is kind of secondary to the whole conversation that's going on, but Prowl's still in charge of security, still a complete arrogant, pompous fool, makes no apologies for any of the mistakes he's made in the past, but leaves the rest of the Autobots, including people like Sideswipe, to go and rescue the senators. And which they do by tunnelling underground. Zetar is the one with the corkscrew thing on the drill on the top of his head, and they all get through. There's Brawn, good to see Brawn, Ironhide, some of the classic characters come through. Point Blank's there, and they start their work while Cup and Hound try a more frontal approach as a distraction. They take Flak, Top Shot, and Sidetrack, and launch an artillery barrage on the Senate building. Classic knock on the front door. While Megatron introduces the Rainmakers: Acid Storm, Ion Storm, and Nova Storm. Acid Storm with acidic mist, Ion Storm lightning, and Nova Storm is completely functionally indestructible. And if you don't do as you're told, and if you don't behave, then these two will come and get you. It's strong arm tactics from Megatron. And as the artillery barrage goes off on the front door, General Stryker, who's the one who looks a little bit like a kind of Darth Vader or Guardian or Death's Head, someone like that, with the mask, goes off to intercept them, while the others continue their strike from underneath. In particular, you wonder what Brawn's doing here. He's preparing to give Chainclaw a boost. So he's like, here, yeah, here. They give Chainclaw a boost right over the top, straight into the bottom of the prisoner holding cells where Ravage and Laserbeak were. It comes charging in and sends them off at speed. The rest, Ironhide and the rest of the party then come along to free all the senators, including Orion Pax. Brawn does his job, and Sentinel Prime says, "I will break Megatron with my own hands." Ironhide steps in and says, "No, you don't. We're here because Raw's Brawn to protect you and all the senators, not Megatron anymore. He's now forfeited that right, but you're going to need bodyguards. So Chromia needs bodies to escort the first senator Orion Pax out, and Ironhide is going to need support. They all volunteer, as you'd expect. Megatron, meanwhile, and his team respond to the barrage that's going on the front door. Clench goes to a railgun, Snaptrap, and Heavyweight with Stryker. Blitzwing and 8-Face go out and sweep the rest of the building. Some lovely artwork here. I really do like these pictures. The art's much better than it was in the earlier episodes. A lot brighter, more colourful, and just generally better done. I do like it. Meanwhile, the security team are talking. Orion Pax says, "You must get me to a broadcast point. I must speak to Cybertron." And the guards are saying, "Look, we've got you this far, but we can't fly, we can't back you up." Meanwhile, inside, Ironhide and a few of his team are still left. So we have Groove and the rest of the team who've gone inside. Blitzwing comes in, finds them, they run, get scattered off, and we start to see the body count goes up. Roulette snuffs it. Where are we? Yeah, we are. Blitzwing with his weapons takes out Roulette. Groove fights back. There's a pretty good blaster fight here, and we go back to Orion, to Sentinel Prime, who transforms, flies off before he can get any backup. None of the other team who've gone with him are able to fly. People like Brawn, Orion, Chromia, and so on, all stuck on the ground, chasing him at speed, following him along the ground. And Megatron is contacted I think it's Clutch who's manning the railgun, says, look, Sentinel Prime has just flown off, and we get this lovely picture here of the Rainmakers kind of posing almost as they take off majestically to go chase Sentinel Prime. Chainclaw and Ironhide and team start clearing the area, but the guy with the railgun, Clutch, starts taking out shots as Chainclaw says, thank Primus they didn't spend more time on target practice, and then takes a railgun, javelin, rod, projectile straight through the stomach. And he isn't the only one. As we see, the body count starts to mount. He's Clutch is on the roof sniping away. There, the Rainmaker's just headed out. There's Clutch with his railgun, killing all and sundry below. So, I think it's Sunrunner drops a grenade, sends off an explosion, and the artillery team fire heat-seeking missiles to finish the job. Bumper and Sideswipe not done well. You can see here Sideswipe covered in wounds, and Bumper also. So it's not going well for the Autobots, and it's getting worse. We see Sentinel Prime, Ironhide, Chromia, I'm under fire as the Rainmakers come in. First of all, Iron Storm jumps on top of him, discharges lightning into him, causing him to crash. But he says, you think I am so easily laid low when you are no longer supercharged? I am a Prime. So Sentinel Prime, still holding on to his title, his rank, his authority. You are traitors and fanatics. He's still convinced that he can hold Cybertron together just because he's a Prime. Acid Storm comes in, fires an acid storm on him. Acid rain falls down. He's like, I am a Prime. He's still clinging on to his belief that he can keep Cybertron safe and keep it together, united, and is determined to point out that he is a Prime, although it's proving no use as Nova Storm crashes straight through him with one of her wings, goes straight through, dismembers Sentinel Prime. It's quite a sad decline for him. Help me, good. The guards come up just in time. Orion Pax and the team find the remains of Sentinel Prime and pick up the Matrix. So, as foreshadowed, as we all know, Orion Pax gets the Matrix. It glows, it expands, it does a full-on Transformers the movie hot rod moment, and then leaps into his chest, possibly sort of semi-automatically. Orion Pax has a Matrix vision. There isn't much to say about this. The second half of the story is kind of history, background. It's not as interesting as the other stuff. Excuse me, wrong. There we go. But when he comes back round to reality, Orion Pax, are you alright, Orion? No, we must become what the times require of us. And Orion Pax has made the decision to accept the burden of service, to accept it all. And he says, no, we must become what the times require of us, not Orion Pax, Optimus Prime. Next up is Awakenings, so that'll be issue 26, part of Warworld. The artwork, as I said, throughout was great. I really like this one, much better than some of the earlier issues. The colours were much brighter, much clearer, much more distinct. Generally a good story, lots more action, which suited me nicely. I'll go through the artwork on the remaining pages. We have Optimus versus Megatron. This will form the cover image for next time. A repeat of the cover image from this issue, issue 25. Orion stroke Optimus going on his Matrix quest, and then Wheeljack watching Megatron's broadcast. It's like the big broadcast of 2006. A plug for Transformers Terminator, which I appreciate was a few years ago now. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then Warworld Prime. So that's what's coming up. And nice picture of Cybertron on the back. Thanks very much for watching this video. I will make some more videos more frequently and sooner. I realise it has been a long time since the last one, and I will start working my way through the backlog. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.